Nintendo has made some amazing games throughout the years that are still being played today. However, in those years, your average player has gotten a lot better, and some can even beat it in less than 10 minutes. One of these games is Super Mario World, which was a launch title for the SNES and released on November 21st, 1990. It was produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, featuring music composed by Koji Kondo and graphics designed by Shigefumi Hino. It was the first Mario game in which Yoshi, Wigglers, Monty Moles, Banzai Bills, Swoopers and Magic Koopas appear, as well as a save feature. And in terms of design, it's just your standard 2D side-scroller pixel art Mario game. Now this game was quite a big hit and sold tens of millions of copies, and so the speedrun community started to grow as time went on. And in the year 2019, they can do some pretty insane tricks that make the run so short that most won't even notice when it exactly ended. So for this edition of super short speedruns, we are looking at the famous Super Mario World. First of all, we will look at a category called Zero Exits, where the runner never actually leaves the first level he enters. What happens is that the runner starts the game, sits through the short text intro at the beginning, and heads over to the right level from Yoshi's house, also known as Yoshi's Island 2. Now here the runner will do a couple of actions in a specific way that might seem a bit weird to most. And before you know it, the run is over, and he's all of a sudden at the end of the credits without ever facing Bowser. How is that even possible? Well, thanks to something called arbitrary code execution, which we have talked about before on this channel. We will link them in the upper right corner.
This is quite an advanced glitch, present in various games like Pokemon and also Super Mario World. And when you pull it off, it allows you to theoretically run any code you desire on the console, called arbitrary code execution. Now, we will give you a very brief and simple explanation on why this is possible at all, because it's very complicated and boring if we go too much into detail. First of all data storage in any standard machine consists of two fundamental types: ROM, read-only memory, and RAM, random access memory. The first is code that can't be modified, and the other changes constantly since it contains things like the saves and anything it's trying to display or do. And whenever the power is cut, the RAM will be cleared, except for the SRAM, but we aren't getting into that. Now, knowing all of this, we can explain what basically happened in the run. First, a glitch is performed that causes the program counter to jump to RAM. And now the runner can mess around with the game. By giving the game inputs, he can now program or alter the code in certain sections depending on where he is in the code. That's why he grabs the red Koopa shell, spits it out, picks up a green one, and times the coin at the end perfectly with Yoshi's tongue. All of this puts code into the game. It was all just a setup so that the game would load the credits. It's like manipulation from the game within by entering a backdoor and influencing it from there. It's quite crazy that it's even possible, and thanks to it, the game can be beaten in less than 43 seconds. So congratulations to Furious for getting such a fast time. We used his run for the segment since he is the world record holder. Now, it could be that some of you think that this is cheating. So that's why we're also going to look at the 11 exits run. This one is also incredibly short, but does go through a number of levels and defeats Bowser. Now, the shortest route will take 12 levels in total. This is because it goes for the fastest way to the end. It starts at Yoshi's Island 2, goes all the way up past Iggy's castle, and then goes to the Donut Secret House by using the hidden paths. Here, he will go to the Big Boo boss, who will open up the way to the Star World, where he goes through 1, 2, 4 in order to make it to the front door of Bowser's castle. And after beating that one, he's done. When it comes to tricks and glitches that are used in this run, there are a number of them, but it's nowhere near as complicated as the arbitrary code execution one. In the first level, you will see two interesting things. For example, Yoshi has a shell in his mouth while running. They do this so he doesn't slow down while running past berries by trying to eat them. Another thing you will see quite early on in Yoshi's Island 2 is the Cloud Glitch item, which is handy for the end of the run. The goal here is to despawn the Koopa on the right pixel, then use Yoshi and a shell to do an item swap with a charging Chuck later in the level. It comes down to a very specific setup that caused Yoshi to eat a charging Chuck, which the coin turned into. Normally you can't eat this enemy, but if you try to collect a coin that Yoshi's trying to eat, you create a null sprite which is filled with a charging Chuck, which is a bit further away in the level. And thanks to this, you can get the cloud as an item, because eating this enemy has a give power-up effect.
Aside from that, we see one other interesting trick in the normal levels that kinda stands out during the run. A small shell trick seen in Donut's Secret 1. Now, spinning the fish with the cape while still holding the shell is based on the cape frame rule. The first 2 fish after the pipe can be spun without losing the shell so long as Mario doesn't rub his feet on the floor after the pipe. And the 3rd fish can be spun after a quick left and right, or skipped entirely. Not a huge trick, but it does look incredibly interesting in the run. Now, the last really interesting trick of this category is seen at the end when taking on Bowser. Here, the cloud that the runner got earlier plays a giant role, because it helps you skip a part of his animations, cutting a good 35 seconds from your run. Now, we don't know why, but for some reason, when the cloud is on screen, Bowser's just a lot faster, and after his defeat, the runner Area 51, current world record holder of this category, is done, in about 9 minutes and 45 seconds. So yeah, runs of this game can be quite fast, and a lot of it comes down to precise movement and knowing the levels well instead of glitches. It's incredibly impressive, and now we know how fast they can be. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to watch more, click the annotations on the screen right now, because then you'll go to other videos. And be sure to subscribe, because then you won't miss any.